What's up, y'all? Beautiful day to be alive. Back again. My name is Bobby, and I'm bringing you some good free nuggets of wisdom in the small business world. I'm going to be talking about that for a little while, and then we'll get on to other things that I know and that I want to share with everybody. First of all, brought to you by Pure Positivity. Superfood powder. This is an amazing product for all dogs and cats of any age, of any type of issues. This is all human grade stuff. You just sprinkle a little bit on their everyday food and they get all the goodness and all those vitamins and minerals that they're really lacking. So check it out, purepositivity.com, PAWS positivity. So, first of all, my first business was a mobile detailing business that I started in my early 20s. It was a great business. I did great with it. We really built it up to be something pretty successful. Unfortunately, I had to chalk it up as a loss as the Great Recession came and kind of kicked us out of the industry or just kicked us out of business because pretty much everybody tightened up their purse strings and detailing their cars was not something that people wanted to spend money on. So we struggled for about a year and then we had to call it quits and we learned a shit ton from that. So I'm just trying to share some of the stuff that I went through. So the biggest issue, or one of the biggest issues that I ran into with a mobile detailing business was that it was not scalable. So we're going to talk a little bit about scalability. Scalability in simple terms just means that it's the ability to grow your business and manage it and manage those increased demands and get through without compromising performance or revenue of any kind. So that was a difficult thing to do in the detailing industry because one, there's only one of me, and so when the demand comes in, I could only do so much. I had a business partner, but we could only split up and do so much. So I can only do a limited number of vehicles in a day. Equipment costs, you always got to think about those types of things. If I'm going to get more done, if I'm going to get employees, those types of things, which I eventually did, then I had to buy another truck. I had to buy more, everything. I had to buy double of everything. So that was difficult. That's not something that's really scalable over time. I mean, it can be, but it's very difficult to do. So another thing was just time. So I had the time just moving in between jobs. If I could schedule 4 jobs a day, that'd be great. But sometimes it was in Mesa, Arizona. Sometimes it was in Peoria. Sometimes they're in Scottsdale or all these different places. And I had to factor in, lunch, going to the bathroom, things like that, going to get something to drink, and then travel time in between these jobs. So sometimes I couldn't do all those jobs that I wanted to do. There's so many different things. I talked about weather yesterday. That was something that I had to worry about. It's not easy to scale something when I'm having storms and I have all this stuff backing up that I can't get done. So we always have to think about these things when you're going to start your business, whatever that idea may be. Even training. It was easy. It was difficult for me to train other people to do what I did. So, and we're going to talk about that a little bit on another episode. But when it comes to scalability, some examples of this, a scalable company would be something like a software company. Software is a great avenue if you have technology, as your skill, and you can develop software. Microsoft, Dropbox, companies like that, basically there's unlimited number of these. You could sell them to anybody, and it's just duplicate, sell it online, and that's great. It's got great growth potential. It's got large profit margins. It can reach globally. The only cons to it is just there's an intense competition. There's huge competition with it, and then the upfront costs of that type of thing can be pretty high. Another, I guess, example would be e-commerce. I think of like Amazon or Shopify, things like that. So those things can serve millions of people, millions of customers, and they can get out there without having any physical stores. So there's really no overhead, and it's an amazing job or amazing business model because of those types of things. It's very scalable. Some unscalable businesses. One, mobile detailing, not so scalable. I mean, there's ways to make things scalable, of course, especially if you have that large upfront, cash. Boutique craft stores or something that I think of right away. It's a handmade craft. It's very unique. It's got great potential, but you can only make so many of them, and so it's hard to scale that to a larger level, because it's got that personal touch. And another thing that's not really scalable, even though it's done, you see it often, are restaurants. It's a very difficult business to scale. And if you think about those ones that have scaled, they sacrifice things like quality and for quantity. And so it's just one of those things, local brands, local restaurants, it's harder to scale them. So if you're going to start like as a local restaurant, you're not going to be able to take your local cuisine and then drive, put it in Texas or something, and make it successful. It's just going to be harder to do. People out there have different tastes and different things. So it's really hard to make it a scalable business as a software company could be. So those are some things that I just wanted to mention, because when you're going to start your business, you got to think of these things. So hopefully this kind of helps you get through that, first couple stages of developing your product or developing what your business is going to be. So hope you all have a great evening.